Hi, I'm Seb. I'm from the USA, and as of 2020, I've taught IELTS preparation for 5 years. This presentation is about IELTS writing task 2, and there are various types of tasks that candidates are asked to write essays for. These can include advantages or disadvantages, that is a type. That type can also be termed benefits and drawbacks. The next type is cause and effect, and this can also be termed problem solution, slightly different. And a third type is agree or disagree, and this can be more generally stated in the question as state your opinion. In the exam, candidates have 40 minutes to write the essay. So we begin by analyzing the prompt. And here we read what the topic is. It says, some people believe that unpaid community service should be a compulsory part of high school programs. For example, working for a charity, improving the neighborhood, or teaching sports to younger children. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Our first task here now is to underline key issues in the statement. And so this is the statement, and here we can underline these keywords, particularly community service and the fact that it is unpaid, but also that it is compulsory. Now, we can paraphrase these keywords, and that's very important to do in our essay. We don't want to repeat or reuse those same words from the prompt too much. So let's paraphrase those three. Unpaid. Unpaid can be said as work for free or working without being paid. Another phrase for community service is volunteering. We can call it charity work, charitable work, or also voluntary work. Compulsory can be paraphrased as mandatory, obligatory, and not optional. All of these are good ways to say the same thing without being repetitive. Our next action here is to brainstorm. When we write our essay, we do want to spend time brainstorming. In the exam, we might spend up to 5 minutes thinking about reasons why unpaid community service should or should not be part of high school. I have many examples here that I've come up with. And on the positive side, work experience, they can build work experience, develop interpersonal skills, network within their community, they build self-esteem. High school students do the work that benefits the community. It's also an opportunity for non-traditional learning. And the voluntary work can improve their job prospects when they do go to look for work later in life. On the other hand, the drawbacks include the 4 items and many more, but the 4 items I've listed on the right. The time is taken away from the students' hobbies, from their study, and from other paid work. Also, community service should be voluntary. It is time that a person gives to the community, so it's a little bit odd to require it. So if students want to do it, well, why not it just be voluntary? Then we might say that the community members may not like low quality work, so if students are going out into the community without giving their full effort, the result may have a negative impact on the community and how they perceive the teenagers who are going out to do the voluntary work. And finally, community members may resent having to interact with youth who are uninterested in working with them. That might be a few isolated incidents and hopefully not typical of all high school students that are going out into their communities. But we could see that there are some drawbacks here as well. Now, we want to choose our point of view. We can go straight down the middle of the road, neutral, and not lean too far in either direction. On the other hand, it might be easier to go all the way with either completely disagree or totally agree. You can have a somewhat more balanced response, going somewhat either to the disagree or the partially agree side. And now, when we write our sentence stating our opinion, we can come up with many that will fall into those categories. So on the fully supporting, totally agree side, we might write a sentence like the one at the top. Mandatory community service ought to be a component of all high school curricula. That's a very strong statement. Not quite as strong. Community service could be beneficial to teenagers in high school. Now, at the neutral, middle of the road level, in the middle, volunteer work should be an optional component of high school programs. Now, -1, a little bit on the disagree side. Work in the community is not necessarily the best way for students to spend their time. Then, totally disagreeing, -2. Volunteering in the community should in no way be required of all high school students. A warning, IELTS essays are marked for task response, and that means does the essay answer the specific question? Has the candidate written enough? Those are two aspects. And they are marked for the strength of the argument to the extent that the essay is coherently organized and uses linking and reference words appropriately. However, essays are not marked on truth or validity. Hence, choose your opinion quickly and make your selection based on how easy it will be to present reasons for your stance. You earn high marks for a well-structured and coherent essay with good sentence variety and correct usage of academic words. Now, we must write one more sentence stating our opinion using different words. This will come in handy later. So take a look. These follow the same order in terms of +2, totally in agreement with the statement. Mandatory community service ought to be a component of all high school curricula. A second sentence, mandating community service is undoubtedly beneficial. In the middle of the road, at 0, a sentence that says the same thing as volunteer work should be an optional component of high school programs. Work done for free may benefit some, but not all high school students. And finally, disagreeing. A sentence meaning the same as volunteering in the community should in no way be required of all high school students. We could write another sentence that says the same thing. Obligatory unpaid work has no universal benefit to high school students. Our topic sentence is not the same as our sentence stating our opinion. The opinion sentence we also call the thesis. The topic sentence can be a paraphrase of the sentence in the prompt. Now, be careful, because if you copy these words, and I say 4 or more in the same order, those words will be deducted from your total word count. So don't copy the words here. That's from the prompt. Paraphrase it, and a sentence like this is appropriate. Some think community service done for free ought to be made mandatory to graduate high school. Our second sentence in the introduction will explain a reason for this. Following that first sentence, we can write, in addition to benefiting the community, this type of work would boost student self-worth and promote non-traditional learning opportunities applicable to students' future job prospects. Combine it and put that opinion sentence at the end, and we've got our complete first paragraph. Altogether, some think community service done for free ought to be made mandatory to graduate high school. In addition to benefiting the community, this type of work would boost student self-worth and provide non-traditional learning opportunities applicable to students' future job prospects. Therefore, mandating community service in high school is undoubtedly beneficial. Just as a note, if you're going with a one-sided argument, follow the outline on the left of the page. Following the introduction, you give benefits to the community and then benefits to the students. Those are two example body paragraph topics. If you're going to give a more balanced argument, you might follow the outline on the right-hand side of this page, going with body paragraph 1 about drawbacks, and then a body paragraph 2 about benefits to either students or community. I would say that because of the time limit, it's easier to reach the minimum word count by choosing to argue only one side of the issue. If you're slow to think of what to write or how to express your ideas, you'll be penalized for not writing enough. In the category of task response, 1 point is deducted for essays in the 200 to 249 word range. We do need to write at least 250 words. 2 points then are deducted for essays between 150 and 199 words, and 3 points in this category of task response are deducted for essays with fewer than 149 words. We don't get extra points for writing a significantly long essay, but a good essay over 250 words can qualify for full marks. Now, the exact formula does not have to be precise. However, the closer you follow this outline with good linking words, the more likely it is you will have a final essay that is both long enough and well organized. So, for each body paragraph, I've got these example topic sentences. For body paragraph 1, widespread volunteerism would primarily be of great benefit to the community at large. Now, following my previous example outline, in body paragraph 2, I'll cover the benefits to the students and the linking word I've chosen here. Secondly, involvement in charitable work would bring a multitude of benefits to the students themselves. In body paragraph 1, I can follow with the reason, again, for benefits to the community, by providing a young, able-bodied workforce to charitable groups that otherwise lack the resources. A high school program of this sort would allow charitable organizations to further meet the needs of the community and perhaps take on more ambitious projects. I'll give an example to follow that reason, and the example is, after all, charities by nature have limited means and tend to collapse under lack of funding or squandering resources. Another example, because human resources are such a large cost to many organizations, the ability to harness the labor capacity of the youth in a positive way would allow charitable groups to focus less on fundraising and resource management and more on coordinating labor and meeting the needs of the community. Now, about the benefits to the students, the reason I've given here, students would develop interpersonal skills that are applicable to future work. 2 examples follow this. Because high schools are age ghettos, community service exposes teenagers to other social demographics which are found in the working world. Moreover, the work experience the high school students obtain could be added to their resumes when they look for that first job. Another reason for body paragraph 2, not only that, but students can develop their sense of self-worth through involvement in charitable work. While some students may already be involved in collaborative activities which develop their interpersonal skills, others have limited opportunities to participate in groups or clubs that offer such rewarding involvement as community service does. Because of the extent to which technology has replaced outdoor activity and the emphasis placed on high-stakes exams today, working with charities not only provides a respite from study and time away from screens, it gives students the chance to encounter the working world and exposure to professions before they must actually fend for themselves as adults. For the conclusion, use the extra sentence that we wrote to restate our opinion here. And for the purpose of the Task 2 essay, this paragraph does not need to be longer than one sentence, unless, of course, we have not reached the minimum word count. So here at the end, I've linked it with the phrase, in sum, mandatory community service ought to be a component of all high school curricula. And I have surpassed the word count. This example essay is a total of 364 words. And when we check our work, we want to answer these questions. Have we addressed this specific question? It's important to be on topic because essays that are off topic, memorized, or copied are marked down, actually penalized quite severely. Another question to ask ourselves, have we organized our essay well? So we look here what we have for paragraphing. We do have an introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and a brief conclusion, and that is satisfactory. Linking words, that's part of organizing as well, and it's important to the category of coherence. And I've highlighted here that the thesis sentence in the introduction is linked with the phrase therefore. In the middle of the first body paragraph, we've got after all, and then the transition there, secondly, to the second body paragraph. And in the middle, not only that, but also connects examples. Okay, moving on to the grammar aspect. Now, we want to ask this question, have we used a variety of sentence structures? We don't want only one kind, so of course it's not going to be an essay of only simple sentences, but a mix of simple sentences, complex sentences, compound sentences, and compound complex sentences. Complex sentences include sentences with many types of clauses. So I've highlighted some of the phrases and clauses here, and they do give cohesion to the essay, but they are also ways that we demonstrate our ability to use complex sentence structure. So we've got a prepositional phrase in the first paragraph, in addition to benefiting the community. Another one of the same kind with by. By is the preposition highlighted in the first body paragraph by providing a young able-bodied workforce to charitable groups that otherwise lack resources. Then a dependent clause in the middle there, because human resources are such a large cost to many organizations. In paragraph 3, that's the second body paragraph, another dependent clause with because starting the sentence. Because high schools are age ghettos. I used inversion in the middle. Not only that, but students can also develop ... An adverbial phrase with while, a good sentence for contrast. While some students may already be involved in collaborative activities which develop their interpersonal skills, others have ... And more examples of dependent clauses and inversion there toward the end. Another question to ask is our spelling correct? And have we used academic words accurately? Have we avoided repetition? So this is part of the exercise of coming up with as many synonyms and ways to paraphrase ideas in the prompt as we can. And so I've highlighted those as well as the academic words that are throughout the essay. Another important question to ask is, have we used the correct register? Another way to ask that is it formal? We can give our opinion without using I. Good luck with your IELTS preparation. Follow me on Facebook and check my website, sebanswers.com.